Hello, welcome to second grade. I'm Allie and this is Michaela. And today we're going to be talking about our unit coming up, about the 3 books that we have and the activities planned for them. So, Michaela's going to go through the 3 books, which are all involving animals and bugs, which is really exciting.
So, this is called Tiger Cub by Monica Hughes and illustrated by her also. And the Bug Race is by Corey Meister and illustrated by Barak Centurk. And the Christmas Mice is by Bethany Roberts and illustrated by Doug Cushman.
Some of the I can statements that we're going to be going through this unit, we have posted on the board for you. So for all 3 books, when we're going through and reading them, the first one you're going to be looking at is that I can answer comprehensive questions about the books that we've been reading. The next one is put together a timeline based off events from a book. Create a bar graph with given information and materials, and then create cultural decorations for holidays and traditions. I know this kind of seems overwhelming now, but they're going to be broken down over the whole unit. We're just going over it now so you kind of have a heads up on what's going on.
Yep. And to pick out these books, we use the pick strategies, and this includes purpose, interest, comprehension, and knowing the words. So for the purpose, we want you to be able to determine why, like who we're talking to, who is your audience, and are you reading this for informative, for persuasive, or is it to entertain you? And then your interest, we want you to look at the front and back covers. Maybe you can predict something that's going to happen in the book, and flip through and look at the illustrations, see what you can get without reading the books, and then look at the titles of the chapters, see if that could tell you anything possibly. For comprehension, we want you to determine what you just have read and if you can comprehend what you read. And then for knowing the words, we want you to be able to choose books that are not too easy or too hard for you, so you can use the Pick 5 method. And 1 to 0 is too easy for you, and 4 to 5 is obviously really hard. So if you switch to a book and you flip through a page and you can read about, you only miss like 2 to 3 words, that book's perfect for you because you should miss some words, but you shouldn't get them all right.
So this is going to be the strategy that we're going to be using all throughout the year. So anytime that we have individual reading or downtime, we're going to be helping you go through this strategy so you understand how to pick the perfect book for you. So for our lessons, Michaela's going to explain the first book, Tiger Cub, and the I can statement that goes with that, and the project that we're going to be doing for it.
So Tiger Cub, you will have to answer comprehension questions and put together a timeline based off of events from this book. And for our activity, Allie and I will create a timeline that we can post on like a bulletin board, and it'll look something like this, and it'll go from 2 years to the tiger's birth. And we will go around the room giving students little small papers that say things like, where are they born? And they are born in the jungles of Asia, and they are born blind, but then in chronological order, they would open their eyes after 2 weeks. And students would come up with their papers and post it on the bulletin board. If it's out of order, they can help each other and fix it, or Allie and I can help them fix it to understand better. And basically, to end it, after 2 years, they will be able to live on their own, no longer in their mother's support, and that's what they'll learn about the Tiger Cubs.
The next book we'll be reading is Bug Race. This is a really cute book that talks about how a whole bunch of different bugs come together and decide that they want to see who is the fastest. So the activity that we did for this is going to involve math and making your own bar graph, which is really exciting. Michaela is going to show you kind of an example of how that's going to work.
I'm doing this up on the board, but students will be at their own desks in pairs or in small groups. So they will have little figurines of different animals, and they could be ladybugs, bumblebees, or butterflies. So say they have like a couple butterflies right here. Let's put So then they will have Post-it notes on their desk, and I will be walking through, Allie and I will be walking through, evaluating them, seeing if they can take their Post-it notes and categorize all of these. They won't be lined up, they'll be scattered on their desk. They have to categorize them into different groups, and then they must put them in the bar graphs with one sticky note representing the one animal, so this will be the ladybug, and the 3 will be for the bumblebee, and then 5 is for the butterfly. And they can also see that since the butterfly has more, it will show that the butterfly won the race. And we can ask them comprehension questions also along with this, what they got from doing this activity, showing how they can categorize it, and asking them math questions like, what if you took away 3 butterflies? Would they still be in the lead, or if they wouldn't? Or if we added more of a different kind of animal, would that change the race at all?
Alright, and then for the last book we're going to read in this unit, it is called Christmas Mice. And it is about how mice take their holiday traditions when they are getting ready for the holiday season. It also talks about their relationships they have with other animals like a cat. And for this one, it's gonna be really creative. We wanted to end on a creative note in the unit. So Michaela's gonna explain the project that you're gonna do at the end of our unit.
So because the I Can statement is to create cultural decorations for holiday traditions, which would be Christmas obviously, but they will know that Christmas is celebrated differently in different cultures and different countries. But for our Christmas in the US, we will have set up different stations at different desks for them to make stockings, ornaments, and wreaths that could be taken home as gifts to their families or hung up in the classroom. They can decorate the stockings with puffy paint or bedazzle stickers or whatever, and the ornaments can be painted or filled with glitter or have stickers on them as well, and the wreaths can have pine cones or flowers or whatever they would like to put on it for their enjoyment.
So after we get done reading each of the books, there's going to be some questions that we ask you guys so you are understanding our books, and it goes along with our pick strategy that we talked about earlier. Some of those questions could include like listing the main characters. Who was in the book? Who was the book about? Another one could be recalling details of the setting. So where did it take place? Was it at a home? Was it in a state? Was it a country? Or anything along those lines?
We will also ask you guys questions like, what was the main idea of the book? The tiger cub was, the main idea is how do they grow up and what do they do when they grow up and where would they live? Other questions are, what can you say about the cover of the book? This one's pretty easy. There's a small cub. The bug race, there's bugs running, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And we will also ask you, how would you summarize the book? You can just summarize it in a couple sentences so we understand that you know what you're doing. And then what would happen if the dragonfly and the cockroach didn't tie? What if another bug had won the race? Or what if your math project, if we added other stuff into your math project and you just changed it up a bit so we understand your comprehension?
So tomorrow we're going to be starting with the tiger cub. What are some things that you guys know about a club? This is where we would have the students raise their hands and tell us what they would know about the cub, and it's just getting their minds ready to read this book. So, thank you. Those are some good ideas that you guys had about tigers. Tomorrow we're going to find out exactly how the cub grows up, and we're going to do our timeline on their life. So, I hope you guys are excited to start our projects on our 3 books. Thank you.
I forgot to